So this is the Xiaomi Pad 6 and hear me out on this one. This tablet has an 11-inch 2.8K 144Hz IPS display. It has the Snapdragon 870 processor with 8GB of RAM and an 8840 mAh battery that supports fast charging. There is also a full metal build and all of that for under $350 or 30,000 rupees. So what's the catch, you might ask? Well, that's what this video is for. I've been using the Xiaomi Pad 6 for quite a while now and I want to share my experience with you guys down to the little details. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be able to decide if you should get this tablet or no. I also have the Xiaomi Smart Pen Generation 2, which is the official stylus for this tablet. And we'll talk about some of its features and how it adds up to the overall user experience. But with that being said, my name is Yusuf, you guys are watching Tech Droids, and these are going to be my 2 cents on the Xiaomi Pad 6. Alright, so let's start off with the unboxing experience, and if you take one look at the packaging, there is no denying the fact that this is inspired by a company that's named after a fruit, but there's nothing wrong with that since the unboxing experience itself is really good. You lift up the lid and you're greeted with the tablet itself, which is inside a protective sleeve. Below that are 2 small compartments. One of them has your quick start guide and the other has your 33-watt fast charging adapter, and I'm really glad that Xiaomi is still including charging adapters even on their budget affordable devices. And there's also a USB Type-C to Type-A cable for charging and data syncing. And there's nothing else in the box. It's a very straightforward and simple unboxing experience. Now I want to start off this review by talking about the design and build quality of the Xiaomi Pad 6. If you take a look at the design, it is similar to the iPad, but I really like this simple and elegant approach Xiaomi has gone for. And this camera module here is borrowed from their flagship Xiaomi 13 Pro series. If you look closely, there is extra camera here, which is actually not a working sensor. It is not an actual camera, it's just there for aesthetics. And it looks good. It maintains the symmetry. There's only one camera on the back of this tablet, and the camera hump itself is kind of thick. It does pop out a lot. So if you do lay the tablet flat on a desk, it is gonna wobble a little bit. But if you get the case, I think you can get rid of the wobble. But other than that, the design of the Mi Pad 6 is really good, and it's completely made out of metal. So there's metal on the back, really high quality aluminum, and also metal on the sides. And there is Gorilla Glass 3 for the display protection. So in terms of durability, I really like the Xiaomi Pad 6. It feels really solid in the hand, and even though it's a tablet that weighs 491 grams, you can barely feel the weight since the weight distribution is so good, and it just feels really premium in the hand and really comfortable to use. Even though it's an 11-inch device, I feel really confident, holding on to the Pad 6 because of the solid build quality. Alright, so talking about colors on the Xiaomi Pad 6, you have 2 of them. So there's the graphite gray color, the one I have here, and there's also a mist blue color. Now, the graphite gray color looks good and all, but there's a slight problem, and that is fingerprints and smudges. The moment you start using this, it picks up a lot of them, and it's very easily visible. It's very evident since it's a darker shade, and I think the mist blue color is going to do a better job at not showing your fingerprints and smudges. But if you do get the case, the folio case that is available for 1,499 rupees, I think you can not only protect the tablet, but also save it from all the fingerprints and smudges. So that's that. But at the end of the day, the color choice is going to come down to you guys. You can get whichever one you want. So I'll leave that up to you guys. Alright, now doing a quick little overview of the Xiaomi Pad 6. Starting from the top, you have 2 individual speaker units with the Dolby Atmos branding and your power button. Moving on to the right side, you have your volume rockers, a microphone, and then this magnetic strip, which is going to be charging the Xiaomi Pen wirelessly. And there is another microphone. Now, towards the bottom, you have your USB Type-C 3.2 port, which is going to be capable of driving a 4K display, as well as you can transfer data really quickly. So this has really fast data transfer speeds compared to the OnePlus Pad, which has a USB 2.0 port at the bottom. So I really like that Xiaomi has not cut corners here, and this is such a really good feature even on a budget device. And there is again 2 individual speaker units with another microphone. So that's 4 speakers and 3 microphones for now. And the left side of the tablet is pretty much clean. There's nothing here. Towards the back, you have your camera unit and the 4th microphone with the camera itself. So that's the 13 megapixel sensor with another microphone. And towards the bottom, you have your Xiaomi branding with 3 pins, which are going to be helpful for connecting accessories like the folio keyboard case that is available. So that's the overview, and I really like how clean this tablet is overall. Now let's talk about specs and performance. And I think Xiaomi has taken some interesting decisions here. Starting off with the CPU, the Xiaomi Pad 6 is powered by the Snapdragon 870 CPU, which is back from 2 years old. So it's not the latest, fastest thing out there, but it's a very capable CPU since I have the 870 in my Xiaomi Mi 11X smartphone. And I've been using that phone for 2 years and it's still holding up really well, even in 2023. There's also 6 or 8 gigabytes of LPDDR5 RAM and 128 to 256 gigabytes of UFS 3.1 storage. There's also a mammoth 8840 mAh battery that supports fast charging. Now talking about real life performance, starting from basic tasks like using social media, so Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and watching videos on YouTube, reading emails, browsing the web, all of that works really well. Flawless. There are no issues, there's no lags or jitters anywhere. And this display is 144 Hz as I mentioned, so it's very smooth. So just scrolling through the Android UI feels very responsive and snappy. Now, if you move on to slightly more demanding tasks like gaming, you can play most of the games on this tablet, it can handle them, but you'll have to play around with the settings a little bit to get the best playable experience. I tried Asphalt, BGMI, Genshin Impact, basic games like Subway Surfers, and all of that works really well. And gaming is a lot of fun on this tablet because of the display and speaker combination. We'll talk about that in a bit. And moving on to more demanding tasks like video editing and photo editing, I even tried editing a raw photo in Adobe Lightroom and I was able to do that without any issues. So that's that. Now there are some, small lags and jitters here and there, some animations, slow down sometimes. But other than that, the performance of this tablet was very solid. Now, performance aside, the tablet experience heavily depends on its software. And the Xiaomi Pad 6 is running Android 13 and on top is MIUI 14 for Pad. And this is customized for the tablet experience, so you can make use of this huge 11-inch canvas. Now, there are some little issues here, but first, let's start off with the good. And that starts with the multitasking features. There is floating windows and then there is side-by-side apps. So floating windows, as the name suggests, are floating apps on your home screen or on top of another app. For example, if you're watching YouTube and you quickly wanted to take notes, you could have the Notes app floating on top of the YouTube app. And side-by-side apps are again very self-explanatory. You can have two apps open at once in the side-by-side feature. So one half of the screen is one app and another half of the screen is going to be another app. Now there is a slider in between so you can decide how much each app gets. You can have two side-by-side apps open at once or two floating windows open at once. So those multitasking features, in my opinion, are really good and they can increase your productivity depending upon how you use them. Now, talking about the small issues that I mentioned, this tablet does not have a memory for its home screen layout. So for example, if I had a different layout for portrait mode and a different layout for landscape mode, it doesn't remember that. So if I make any changes to my home screen, if I move around any app or widgets in the portrait layout, it automatically does that to the landscape layout as well. And I think Xiaomi needs to roll an update to fix this because on the iPad, this is a feature where you have two different layouts for two different orientations. So that's that. Now, another issue is that certain things are just not optimized for the tablet experience. Like the notification panel, when you pull it down from the right side, you have your quick toggles and your brightness settings and stuff like that, but there's so much of wasted space, which can be used with other things. And same goes for the notification panel. So, there's nothing happening here. There's lots of wasted space. And some apps like Instagram and some games are just not optimized for the landscape tablet experience. They have these two blurred boxes on the side and the app still runs in portrait. So I think Xiaomi can fix that as well, but that is more of an Android problem rather than Xiaomi's problem. So that's the software. Other than that, the software is really clean and snappy. There is some bloatware pre-installed, but it's just Netflix and Amazon Prime. So you're anyway going to use these apps. But other than that, the Xiaomi, software experience is good. Now there is a problem. Xiaomi has promised 3 years of security patches, but they have not given us any word on the OS updates. So there is no guarantee that this Xiaomi Pad 6 will get Android 14 or 15. For example, the OnePlus Pad has promised 3 years of OS updates. So it starts at Android 13 and it will get the Android 16 updates, 3 years later. But this Pad 6 has no word on OS updates. So do keep that in mind before you buy the tablet. But other than that, as it is right now with Android 13, this tablet has a pretty decent software experience. So now let's talk about the best part of the Xiaomi Pad 6, and that is its display. The Pad 6 comes with an 11-inch 144Hz 2.8K IPS display with a 16:10 aspect ratio and 550 nits of peak brightness. It has support for Dolby Vision HDR, which means you can enjoy HDR content both on YouTube as well as Netflix. And I did double check with the Netflix app, it does have support for HDR. And this display is just amazing. For its price, doing even simple things like scrolling through social media apps or just the Android UI feels really good. It's a snappy, fast panel. And do note that the 144Hz refresh rate is not available everywhere. It's only supported in certain apps and certain games. Most of the times the tablet is at 120Hz or 90Hz. So do keep that in mind. But this display gets plenty bright and very colorful, and the colors are actually very accurate on this one as well. So when you're watching videos and playing games and just consuming media, it's a very immersive experience. Now, adding to that immersive media viewing experience is the quad speaker setup on the Xiaomi Pad 6, and it is supported with Dolby Atmos, and these speakers get really loud. They have some bass to them and lots of treble. And you can change the equalizer setting if you wanted to, but these speakers are really good. They're very high quality, and even at higher volumes, they don't really distort. So, playing games, watching videos and movies and shows, it has this really immersive feel to it. It's like you're getting audio from all four sides, and this huge display is what you're looking at. So the media viewing experience is top notch. And if you're wondering how the speakers sound, here's a speaker test for you guys. Alright, so let's talk about the cameras on the Xiaomi Pad 6. There is a single 13 megapixel f2.2 camera on the back, which does support 4K 30fps video recording, and there is an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle selfie camera. And I really like the positioning of the selfie camera. Talking about the rear camera, it can take pretty decent photos in normal daylight conditions. Even indoors, it can do a good job. Low light performance isn't the greatest, but this is a tablet, so you're not going to be using this as your main camera device. But if you do want to scan notes or documents or just take a quick little picture, it can do the job. But the front camera is actually pretty good, and here is a camera test for you guys. Alright, so this is the video sample from the front camera of the Mi Pad 6. It is in 1080p, 60fps, and the first thing that you'll notice is the placement of the camera itself. It's horizontally placed, so you're sorted for video calls, so things like Zoom classes, online meetings, and just casual video calls with friends. It's going to be good on this tablet, and the camera is doing a good job at managing exposure and focus and things like that. You also have a very wide field of view, so you're capturing a lot. And also the microphone quality is pretty good, since this tablet has 4 microphones, so you're getting really good clear audio, and it also tries to cancel out the background noise. You guys let me know in the comments down below what do you guys think about the video quality of the front camera of the Mi Pad 6, and that's that. Alright, so that was the cameras, and I really like the quality of the front camera as well as the rear camera, and you guys have looked at the camera samples, so do let me know in the comments down below what do you guys think. Alright, so now let's talk about battery life and charging. As I mentioned at the start of the video, the Pad 6 comes with an 8840 mAh battery that supports fast charging, and there is a 33 watt brick included in the box. And battery life was great for me. I was able to get 10 hours of screen on time consistently, and it is 2-day battery life in my opinion, without a doubt. Even if you are a heavy user, if you play a lot of games, you use the camera a lot, you're watching movies and shows continuously, you should still be able to get 8 to 10 hours of screen on time easily. And if you do run out of juice, the Pad 6 can charge from 0 to 100 in about 2 hours and 0 to 50 in about 45 minutes. So it's not the fastest charging, but I'm glad there is some sort of fast charging here, since waiting for the huge battery to charge is gonna be a pain in the ass. But other than that, the battery life for me was good. And it depends on what you're doing on the tablet, how much you're pushing it and what the brightness level is at, and if you have Bluetooth on or no. Other than that, I have no complaints with the battery life and charging. Alright, so it's time to talk about the stylus, and this is the Xiaomi Smart Pen Generation 2. So there was a previous version, and this has improved a lot compared to that previous version. Starting off, it charges wirelessly now, and it's always resting on this magnetic strip, so most of the time it is going to be at 100% battery, and the battery life of this stylus is also pretty good. It's rated for 150 hours, which is a lot, so you're probably never going to run out of battery on the pen. And talking about its performance, it's got very minimal latency, and it also supports pressure sensitivity. So if you push down harder, you're going to get thicker strokes, and if you're using it with a lighter hand, you're going to get thinner strokes, which is pretty good for digital artists and stuff. And there's 2 buttons on this pen as well, and they have different functions depending upon which app you're in. For example, in the default Notes app, you can hold on to the top button and it will act as an eraser. If you just press on the top button, you can switch between the different tools. And if you're on the home screen and if you hold on to the bottom button, you can take a screenshot and then annotate on it. So it's a very useful little tool and does add to the overall user experience of the tablet and can increase productivity if you know what you're doing. I would suggest you only get this stylus if you really need it, since it is a significant investment, 6,000 rupees to be precise. So if you know you're going to be taking a lot of notes or doing digital art stuff, then it's going to be worth it for you. But otherwise, I think you skip this. But overall, I like this stylus. But with that being said, how is Xiaomi able to do it? What is the catch here? And I think it's smart decision making. Xiaomi has made compromises or cut corners in areas where it's not very evident or aren't huge deal breakers. For example, they went with an older chip, which is capable and still good enough in 2023, so they can cut down on the cost. There is no OLED display on this tablet, which would increase the cost significantly, and they also cut down on small little things. For example, there is no 5G or LTE model on the Pad 6, so Wi-Fi is your only way to connect to the internet. There is no haptics, so there is no vibration motor here. There is no biometrics, so no fingerprint, no Face ID. You have to use the software-based face unlock or pin/pattern. And there is no micro SD card, there's no water resistance, there's no headphone jack. So all of these little things, I think, has helped Xiaomi to keep the cost under 30,000 rupees. But even after all of that, it's a very good value and it's a very good overall package. The Xiaomi Pad 6 does a lot of the tablet stuff right. It ticks most of the boxes. It has a good display, really solid design and build quality, good performance, and good battery life as well. So in my opinion, the Pad 6 is worth every penny, and it's 10,000 rupees cheaper compared to the OnePlus Pad, which is offering a very similar experience, barring the fact that the OnePlus Pad does have the newer Dimensity 9000 chip, so it is going to be better in terms of the performance. But other than that, everything else is good on the Pad 6 as well. So if you want to save some money, get the Pad 6. But if you want the latest and greatest experience, you could go with the OnePlus Pad as well. But I'll drop links in the description down below so you guys can check it out, and do buy from those links to help the channel out. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about the Xiaomi Pad 6, and do you have a tablet? Are you planning to buy one in the future? Which one is it going to be? I'll be there replying to you guys. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future uploads. And with that being said, my name has been Yusuf. You guys have been awesome. Stay awesome, keep smiling, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.